Welcome back to Social Club. I'm still joined by Ira from United People's TV and Ped from Toffee TV. This time, you know, it'd be so easy to fall into another Manchester United video, I think, with Mourinho looming large over that club, you know, scheduled to be the next manager of Manchester United. It'd be easy to talk about that, but what I wanted to do is sort of bring in a little bit of our experiences, Ped, and talk a little bit more about, is this potentially the best lineup of managers we've ever had in the Premier League? You know, when you look the like of Jurgen Klopp, you got Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, Conte, Wenger, even Pochettino, Pellegrini linked to be coming back in. Where does that fit with you?
Looks exciting, doesn't it? But you can understand why. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money to play with, and you can understand. You know, if Pep Guardiola's coming in, Mourinho obviously is coming into Manchester United, to my disappointment, because I did want him. But it's just shaping up nicely, isn't it? But it is all to do with the fact that there's a lot of money in there, and managers are going to get fantastic contracts, but are going to get a lot of money to play with as well. And those managers you've mentioned there, the likes of Pep Guardiola and Conte, they've done as much as they can in their own respective countries. Obviously, Pep Guardiola in Spain as well has done basically everything he can there. He missed out obviously on the Champions League in Germany, but it's just shaping up, and you just start to look at that and think, well, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you start looking and thinking, Jesus Christ, you know, for a club like my club, you're still looking for a manager, and we're being linked with some really good names. But then you look at those names and you just think, what's it going to take this year to even finish in a European space? It's going to be so good. And then you've got the other factor of Leicester have just won the league, so then you've still got that. You've got that dreaming element for all the other clubs as well. So it's shaping up for next season to just be ridiculously open, because I think everyone will still think they can beat everyone, especially in the first season for all these clubs, because yes, it's Pep Guardiola, but I think a lot of people think we want to take on Pep Guardiola. There won't be that fear factor there yet, so shaping up nicely.
There'll be managers like Ronald Koeman, won't there, who's looking at it and going, I want to play against Pep Guardiola, exactly what Pep's saying there. I think when Ranieri's won a Premier League, if Pellegrini comes back in, he's won a Premier League. You know, these are top draw managers. Jurgen Klopp's obviously won the Bundesliga a couple of times, and it is, for me, it's shaping up to be an even better season than this season. And I don't think they'll have those surprise packages, because I think the managers now, when you look at it, are probably too good for that to happen again. What do you think about that?
I think that with all these managers coming in, it's like a headline writer's dream, isn't it?
It is.
We are often sold by the media that this is like the best league in the world, and all these managers coming back in and having all these big names, you know, in the Premier League once, you know, all these the tabloids did it. They're all rubbing their hands, aren't they? You know, it's exciting times, isn't it? Really, like you talk about Mourinho coming in, you know, he's in regards to, the press-wise.
Yeah. They love him, don't they?
Yeah.
They absolutely love him.
They love him. And he will get under, the press's skin.
I just love the fact that Guardiola used to manage Barcelona, Mourinho used to manage Real Madrid, and the two of them are playing in the same city again. They're supposed
in the same league, it'll be good enough. But the fact that it's
Man
in the
City,
same
Manchester
city,
United.
the same league is Scudamore. I wouldn't even want to say what he's going to be doing at home, because he's just going to be looking at it thinking this is just the league has got more money than it can, anyway. And now you've got every single week you're going to have these showdowns of managers.
Yeah.
And it's going to be ridiculous.
Well, it's going to be more about the managers than the teams playing.
What that's going to do this summer also, though, is that's going to drag some top players back to the league, because let's be honest, for the last few years, we haven't had the top players in the Premier League.
Well, they all leave to go to Spain.
Exactly. So what you're already looking at there is, I'm thinking of Mourinho now, and I'm thinking Mourinho's going to bring Zlatan in, and that's just oh my God. For me, that's just like Zlatan coming to the Premier League. I want to go and watch. I want to, I can't wait to go and watch that game, Everton play that game, to see Zlatan. I've missed that.
Terrorising Stones.
Well, Stones.
He won't be there then.
Stones probably be playing for you by then. So, but the idea, but that's what I used to love, though. But that's what I used to love. I used to love the idea of going to a Premier League game and seeing Henry against us, Ronaldo against us. At least if we were shite, you had some top you know, individuals playing against you, and we've lost that in the last few years. It has become a bit more of a, you know, it has become more about the team and to a point about the managers, which is ironic because that's what we're talking about. But hopefully these managers can drag some of these big names back to the Premier League, because we've made a lot of names in the Premier League, but just for that wow factor. The last one was probably, you know, was Suarez to lead the league. Sorry, it's still
a sore point, mate.
I know he won you a trophy last night. But
at least we won a trophy, 21 years.
But well, you know, piggyback off others. That's what we do. Just to get some of those players back would just be brilliant. And if Zlatan's the first,
what, like Paul Rideout? Get those top draw players back in. Wins trophies, doesn't he?
That's what you need to win trophies.
I think that, like you mentioned, like Zlat, you know, and like everybody loves Zlat until he comes to Man United. Then suddenly everybody hates him.
I hate him anyway. I hate him anyway.
But isn't that great though? Isn't that great? Though?
Oh yeah, exactly. It adds to the narrative.
For you though, you'll be a pantomime villain.
Of course,
but you'll love that because that. And it's, again, Suarez. Everyone hates Suarez, but for you love them, and that's what we need back in the Premier. That's what's been missing. Swerve all these Vardy shenanigans and all this nonsense.
Go on, say it, Ped. Say what you really wanted to say.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that we've made narratives out of
players that we don't care about.
Players who are, I'm not saying they're average, but
he's average. Come on.
In the world game, let's be honest, we want the players back. We want the big names, and let's hope these managers bring it. But every week is. I can't wait for Mark Hughes versus
Pulis.
Yeah.
In the old Stoke rivalry, like.
That's the big one for me.
But the players that these guys are bringing in as well, though, you look, I mean, how many World Cup winners and European Champions League winners have Stoke had playing for them? The whole level's been brought up, hasn't it? And with the money this season, we were talking in the office a few weeks ago now about, is every club in the Premier League going to break their transfer record this season? Because quite possibly all the big clubs will
because of the money that's just come in, the new deal.
I can imagine that.
And you're talking 70 million's Man United's deal. Was it Di Maria? If they look at maybe like a Bale or something like that, they'll smash that. They'll smash it. And like, this thing brings me on to the next question, really, and I suppose the last part of this segment is, will we be right at the top table of European football again, the English League?
No. And I'll tell you why, and I've had this theory for the last few weeks, is I don't think we can now compete on I don't think Premier League teams can go for the Premier League and go for the Champions League at the same time. I think the league is too intense, but I think that's how the Premier League won it, and that's how Sky Sports won it, because they don't want to have the Champions League. So it's in their interest for the Premier League to overshadow the Champions League, because that's on a competitive TV station. But what I noticed last season was, it's quite obvious, really, wasn't it? You look at a team like Man City, and financial fair play has absolutely stripped them of a squad capable of winning the Champions League. It just has. Now, I know the financial fair play rules have been relaxed, but it almost feels like not a gentleman's agreement, but almost for the next couple of years. Listen, it might change, but everyone's got 11, 12, 13 decent players, but you go past that, and we've gone from the days where Man United have 4 strikers, and that's why they won the treble in 1999. That's what used to happen. We don't seem to have that, whereas the Spanish teams can drift through seasons and can rest players for some games. Then when there's Champions League the next week, and even to look at the Europa League, you know, Seville have won it 3 years in a row without having to worry too much about how they get on in their domestic league. And I think that's the difference, and that's where we're going to struggle as a league.
Well, then, I suppose the question that sort of follows on to that, and I've not given it loads of thoughts and stuff then, is, are these managers capable of getting the squad players up to a point where they win games in the Premier League and they use their Premier League stars to win those European games? Because these managers won't settle for just winning the Premier League. I think that's obvious.
But the problem is, though, is that there's that many of them. We're talking 6, 7 quality teams, and then you drop down a little notch, and it's not even that far of a notch, where you've got
West Ham, Billy.
Well, you've got West Ham. You've probably got ourselves in that. You have got the likes of Stoke. We'll see. But then you've got that little drop off. But the drop off is so competitive as well. You've got teams like West Brom who can beat you on the day. You know, tactically they know how to set up. It's going to be really, really interesting next season in the Premier League. It's going to be so competitive, really is. It's going to be one of the. I don't know if it's going to be one of the
best season ever.
The best season ever.
The best season ever. You can catch it all on Sky Sports, BT Sport and Ball Street if you subscribe. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Toffee TV because he'll be bringing you Everton news, Everton transfer dailies throughout the summer, is it now?
Yeah.
Wow, check
Every
it out.
day.
And let us know in the comment section whether you agree with Ped, whether it's almost impossible for a Premier League team to go and win the European Cup now. Of course, let us know that in the comment section below.